Hey everybody, welcome back to Creating Hanley. My name is Kimberly. I am your host here at Creating Hanley, and we are in the middle of making this strip set. This is a three strip set. So what I have done is taken a 2.5-inch strip with the fabric, black, and 2 white with the fabrics. These are cut, it's not a jelly roll. You cut it from yardage. These are cut 2 inches and 11/16. So 2 and 11/16 inches by with the fabric, and then in white, and I have white on white here. And then the black in the middle is 2.5 inches with the fabric. So it looks like this with the fabric from selvage to selvage. Now I'm taking it over to the ironing board here. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if you can. Here we go. And then I'm just going to iron this to the dark side. So what I should do is set the seam. And then open this up and iron it to the dark side. Now, the reason why we do that is because we're going to make another one of these strip sets, but opposite. So we're going to put the black strips on the outside and the white in the center. And then when we cut them and join these, the seam allowances are going to be going in the opposite directions. So in case we have to do any nesting of the seams, that they are all ready to go. However, we're going to cut these on a diagonal, and we're going to make something similar to what we already did in the past. I think it was a month, maybe 2 months ago, where I did, I forget what the block is called. Okay, so here we are here. But I did it with batiks. So this is called a strip set. All right. Now, this strip set aside and do the same thing on the other side. So this is what we're doing here. Whirly jig, not this one. Whirly jig. So this is the pattern that we are making. Okay. Awesome. This is kind of what I feel like today. This is how I feel today. Just kind of black and white tied in knots, right? So don't look at this one. Yeah, we might make this one. Do you guys want to see this one? Actually, this looks really fun. So this is a stitch and flip. So maybe we'll do this one at some point too. But it's a stitch and flip, and it looks pretty cool. Anyway, let's go back to this. What we're doing here, and you can see this is what we're doing. Now, do you have to use just black and white? No, you can use other colors, but make sure they're like contrasting. So you could do red and yellow. If you do red and yellow, make sure it's, yellow and red over here, that kind of thing. So, and then this is what we're doing. So here is the dimensions. I'll just see if I can show that to you real quick. 2 strips of 2 16. Now it says 15 inches. I'm doing with the fabric. You can keep it small out of that 15 inches if you want to, because that will make 1 block. I'm just gonna do with the fabric and see how many blocks I come up with. I'll probably definitely get 2 out of them, but you can see you're gonna cut them at 6 7/8 to make a block, to make a unit, and then do the same thing over here, right? And then this is how you're gonna cut them diagonal, corner to corner, and then you're gonna put the opposites together, okay? And then here's the directions, and then eventually you make these little units, and then you just flip them all around, and that's how you put them together. So I'll let you read that for a little bit. You have to make sure that the orientation of your fabric is the correct way. And it is helpful if if you like dry fit them first, and then make sure that it's going in the direction that you want, and then again with the seam allowances going in opposite directions. So I have cut my strips. So now we're doing the black. These are the bigger strips, and the white is in the center. You don't need to see me, so let's go over here. So here's with the fabric. So this is the 2.5 inch wide, and this is the 11/16 inch wide. Okay, so I'm just gonna open up one strip, and if I have any like major folds, like here's a major fold, I'm going to iron that out, or mostly out, right? And again, I just use a dry iron. In the beginning, when I started sewing, I used the steam a lot. Now I just use the dry mostly. But what I do is I add in my squirt bottle. So this is just a squirt bottle, and I can add a little water to the top of it if I want. Okay. So set one of those aside. Now I know my white is in the center, so I'm going to place one fabric face side up and then the other face side down. Now I happen to be using like color on colors on here, so just want to be careful that this is the back of the color on color and this is the front. So I'm going to put the front sides together. And if you want to, you can pin these, you can clip them together, you can not do anything. If you wanted to add a little basting glue, you can, just so the whole thing sticks together. And that's only because I'm doing the whole width of fabric with these strips, and they will shift quite a bit if I don't keep them in place. However, if you're just doing the 15 inches, you could probably get away with not pinning. Okay, so here we go. I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And my machine shakes the whole table here quite a bit, so I do apologize if it's a little wonky on the camera there. It's probably very wonky on the camera because my machine does shake everything quite a bit. So maybe I'll try to fast forward through this on the editing thing. You know how good I am with editing. Great, now we're at the end, and I'm going to set the seams and open this up. And for this one, I'm putting, again, the dark side. So I'm rolling the seam over to the dark side, so like that. And if you need to add a little bit of steam, go ahead. That helps to keep the fabric in the right place. Okay. Now on the opposite side of this white one, you place your other strip so that it makes it opposites. So I'm doing black, white, black, and the other was white, black, white. So I'm just putting a pin at the top just to get it started, and then every so often just keeping this aligned and pin it just to hold these strips in place, because if you're doing with the fabric, they can get a little wonky. By the time you get to the end. So you probably want to keep it in place as much as possible. All right, so here we go. Start at the top. All right, just get a few stitches in there to get it started. Now I'm getting closer to the end, so I'm just gonna shut this off a little bit, just double check, make sure it's in the same line, and keep going. 1/4 inch seam allowance. And we're done there. And again, I'm gonna iron this open. So I want the seams to go to the black. Like so. All right. Now, I'm going to fly you over here. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. Whee! All right. So, if you wanted to try to cut both at this, both layers at the same time, feel free. So if you do that, you need to make sure that everything is lined up exactly perfectly. These edges are lined up perfectly so that everything is straight, because now you have seams under here and not just one. So that makes this three layers of fabric right here, and that makes this 3 layers of fabric. So now you're cutting through 6 layers of fabric right at those seams, okay? So you have that twice. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. It's not just 2 layers. You actually have to cut through 6 layers of fabric right here, okay? So just keep that in the back of your mind. Now we're going to make this square. So this should be 6 7/8. Which mine's a little bit less than, well, yeah, it's like a thread less than 6 7/8. But so you want to make it square. So whatever width this is how long you cut. So in the book it says 6 7/8, but if yours is not 6 7/8, if yours is a little bit short, then that's how much you want to cut your block. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, and both of these are different, the top and the bottom. It's just my seam allowance shifted a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make this, and I'm going to square it up all the way around. So I'm going to make this 6 and let's see, that's a half, that's 3/4, 6 and maybe 6 3/4. So now I'm going to cut off the selvage edge. And that goes away. Okay, so 6 3/4. So I want to come out 6 3/4. So I'm going to use this cutting edge. So I'm just going to come out 6 3/4, like so. Measure. This is where my block, this is how big my block is, 6 3/4. I'm going to take this away and cut there. All right. So now these are both 6 3/4. And you know what? I'm going to, okay. Now in the book, see how the book has it cut? So the black, so you want to cut black from this way to this way, and then the white, which I'm calling this one white and this one black. The white is from this to here. So they are oriented differently, okay? That is very important. So see how these are oriented. This goes this way and the white goes this way. And then cut from top right to bottom left. Top right to bottom left. Cut that way. And then you do the same thing with the orientation on the white. Top right to bottom left. All right, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so this, it goes like so. Top right to bottom left. Like that. Doesn't help that these are squares, rectangles. And then same with this. So this is facing me. Top right to bottom left. Okay, like that. And then you're going to put them together like this. Like so. Like so. Okay, now we have to do that again. So I'm going to take this to the machine and we're going to stitch right along there, okay? And so you see how we're doing this? Like that. Fold that over, face side together, line up these points, and then you take that to the machine and you sew right along the diagonals, okay? So now I gotta make another unit. So what did I say, 6 3/4? Line this up. Make sure that is correct, 6 3/4, that is square. Cut there. All right, and we're doing the same thing here. So now, because I cut with the fabric, I have all of this fabric left on both of these strip sets, so I can make more squares, definitely. Definitely get 2, maybe 3 out of it. So we're just gonna set that aside for now. And again, orient your squares in the way they should be. So the black goes horizontal and the white goes vertical. Okay. So I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So that, let's just dry fit these so we know that everything is in the right order. So that when we put it together, it is as it should be. So let's do this. And this goes like this. All right. I believe that is correct. Let's check it out. Does that look right to you guys? Let's look at the book. There's that little black and white corner right there. And then let's look at this. I think that is correct. Uh-oh. Kitty cat. She's bringing me a toy. She's so funny. All right, let's look at this. I believe that is correct, folks. Look how easy this is. All right, let's take you back over to the machine. Okay. So, right here. Like so. Flip this around. And this is where your seams nest. Do you see how they fit right there? That's pretty nice. Okay. Now, this is where it might be more important to nest these seams than to get the corners. But you definitely want to try to line up this edge as straight as possible. And I might be doing a lot of fiddliness here, but I want to make sure that those meet up as closely as possible. Okay, so you can pop a pin in here if you like, somewhere, whatever makes sense for you. And then if you want to use a leader, because now you're putting a point through your feed dogs and they can suck that point down into the machine. So let's just start there with the needle down, and then I'm making sure everything is in alignment, using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to slow this down a little bit. Take out the pin. Alright, trim off the leader, and open this up. There you go. So this is a little bit off because my seam allowances weren't exactly perfect. But this one, look at that, perfect edge right there. So that's how this looks. Okay. And now you can either, iron these open. If you wanted to iron these open or press these open, you can do that. Or you can just press them to one side. I tend to not have the patience to iron seams open. I usually just press them to one side. But see what you think. See what works for you. Okay. Let's do all of these. Now I'm just going to chain piece because we already know what the end result looks like. So let's just keep going. So again, I'm trying to nest these seams right here and line up that edge. Uh-oh, see See what happened? It got eaten by the feed dogs. And I had a leader. I used this as a leader. So even though that I was chain piecing, that still happened. Okay. And it would figure that this would happen on camera. Of course it would. Alright, I'm just going to leave that there because I don't want to mess with it right now. We're just going to go past that. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Okay. And the last one, put these together. Okay. Let's open these all up. All right, now let's line these up. And my black thread is almost out in the bobbin, so I'm gonna have to replace that real soon on camera. So all of the blocks look the same, right? They all look like this. They all look the same. So if you wanted to, you could make your own pattern like that and have like a little pinwheel thing in the middle. That actually looks pretty cool. Check that out, folks. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, that looks neat. But we're not making that. We're making something else. So we want to put a black stripe at the top and a black stripe at the top and a white down the middle. Okay, and then we want something like this, and then we want a little something like that, and then we want that. There we go. That came together. Nice. That's what we want to do. So now just take two and put right sides together. There's no seams really you're going to match here except maybe the ones right here at this corner. And yeah, feel free to seat those seams and then sew a straight line down here. This is a little bit wonky. Okay, so I feel this is a little bit wonky already. All right, now I've turned this around so many times, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Which way does this go? It goes like that. Okay. All right. Now, if you wanted to trim off these little tabs, you can, because that's extra fabric that we don't need. is all I have left of the bobbin thread. That's it. I used it all. Okay, now I don't have any black wound, so I'm just going to use this cream color. And we open up that. Okay. There we go. There's that. Now we put these two together. Okay, we open up that. Now, so we just made a simple 4-patch right there. You want to put both of those sides together, like so. Line up this. You can iron these open. My iron just now shut off, so apparently I was not ready. Nothing's going right today. It seems like things are just off. Alright. That could be the astrology. That flipped up. I want that to flip up. Alright, and there we go. Check it out. Look at this. I love it. I like it. Yep. It matches the picture in the book. So, there we go. Nice. Now, go slower. Make sure your measurements are correct. And do your machine a little slower. Make sure your seams are right. Now I got a little bit wonky with my seams, so that throws off some of these. Where's the obvious one? Like it throws up. See how that doesn't really meet up exactly perfectly? Yeah. But from a distance, are you going to notice that? Are you going to notice that in a quilt from way back here on a bed, on a couch? Does it affect the warmth of the fabric of the finished project? If you're going to put this on a wall for art, are you even going to notice that? Probably not. There you go, guys. So that's called Whirly Jig. Whirly Jig from the 1000 Quilt Blocks. All right, there you go. Book. 1000 Quilt Block book. All right, have fun making this. See you later. Have a nice day. I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye for now.